Hello again. In the first part of the audio, I have spoken about the way to structure an introduction, a conclusion, and how to pay attention to punctuation and capitalization. In the second part of this audio, I am trying to highlight some aspects in writing the body and how to organize and well structure the body paragraphs. The body paragraphs are important because they are the core to the entire essay, and the way you are going to discuss the content related to the question will show how efficient, how adequate your text is. The format of the essay is as equal in importance as the content itself. The body paragraph here will be formed of three main paragraphs. The first paragraph will be discussing the first point from the question. The second paragraph will be discussing the second one from the question, and the third, of course, will be discussing the last one. Now, organizing those ideas is highly significant. You will have to make sure that you use again the outline that you have drafted, because all of your ideas will be written there. You will have to make sure that your ideas are not repeated and the discussion is not repeated. With you doing this, try to support your sentences from the body with other supporting ideas, examples, maybe things that you find related to the discussion from the thing that you have revised from the lessons that you have. Why is the body very important in terms of content and format? When you give the reader an adequate content, it shows how able, how capable you are in terms of discussing, and how competent and how knowledgeable you are. And here I am highlighting the fact that I will not accept essays which are based upon generalized ideas. Don't think that you are writing or discussing something if it is general. In other words, don't try to fool me with the general idea about the theme or the topic. I need specific ideas about anything that we are discussing. For example, in the test, we have dealt with the seafarer, and I have asked, for example, that I have asked you to highlight the way Christian culture and pagan culture were highlighted or synthesized in the seafarer poem. Some of the students have understood the question and relied on the content they had from the lesson, but other students have generally discussed the theme of Christianity and non-Christian faith without them mentioning and showing how was this related to the seafarer as a poem and the man as a sailor. In Beowulf, for example, don't just give ideas about the Anglo-Saxon culture and heroic culture without you speaking about the exact things that I want to know from the question. And the same thing goes for the ones who are opting for the merchant's tale. In the body, for example, you are going to write your body paragraphs and give IDs, give examples, but then you will miss the idea of separating your body paragraphs. What I want to remind you of here is to separate your body paragraphs. You will have to write separate 3 paragraphs without you forgetting yourself and just pouring ideas and finishing by writing a block paragraph with no division of the themes or ideas. If you do this in the body and you write a block paragraph, this will affect you and your mark. How would you write effective 3 body paragraphs keeping the same coherence, keeping the same organization and cohesion? You will have to be clever enough to use linking words. Some of the students have remembered to use some of the sequencers similar to secondly, finally, firstly, and then, for example, sequencing the order of their essay and IDs. But some other students have missed that. The only thing that they did is to write sentence after sentence after sentence. The sentences were divided by full stops without being linked together by linking words. You can, for example, use however, moreover, furthermore, as a consequence, consequently, things like this, linking words. This will help connect your ideas together. This will show how is your discussion linked together, coherent together, and how clever and confident you are in shaping your ideas and attaching them to one another. You may not, for example, link paragraph 1 to paragraph 2 if you want to, just with second, first, and third, but inside the same paragraph, you will have to remember to include some of the linking words. Don't overuse them and don't omit them entirely from your body. Coherence and cohesion are also important. When you are writing your essay and doing your best not to be tricked by time, make sure to write your ideas if drafted and quickly copy them in the answer sheet. But if you are writing directly on the answer sheet and you are certain that your ideas are correct and coherent, you can always revise and proofread. To proofread means to revise again what you have written. Maybe you've missed something, maybe you've misconjugate a verb. Try to always proofread and revise. Tenses are also important here. Unfortunately, most students are still unable to figure out what tense to use. They are still mixing and this is a pity, and this is of course catastrophic for second-year students. They are still unable to figure out whether to be, to have, or to do are the ones appropriate to use as auxiliary verbs. They are not able to know whether to use the past simple or the present simple, the present perfect or the continuous. Please, you can still have time to always revise and better yourself in this field. But as far as the essay for the exam is concerned, you know that in our lessons we have discussed some things related to history of the Anglo-Saxons or the Middle Ages, and then we have also dealt with themes from the texts themselves. To facilitate things for you, bear in mind that you will be using the past simple tense if you are referring to historical events that took place in history, for example, the Anglo-Saxons and their culture. If you want to start with the Anglo-Saxons and their culture to start speaking about the poem, you can use here the past simple tense or the past perfect, had plus past participle. If you are referring to the text itself and you are discussing the poem and its themes, it is preferable again to only use the present simple in order for you not to be misled and confused. Again, for historical events, you use the past simple tense. For the themes related to the poem discussion, use the present simple tense. This is all for now. I hope you find this useful and clear. If you have questions again, you can contact me on my email address or leave a comment on the comment section. Good luck with your exams. Good luck with the exam of literature, and peace.